PyeongChang, Korea is the final race of the BMW IBSF World Cup season, and Friday evening, as the sun starts to set over the 2018 Olympic track, it is time for the finale of men's skeleton. Hello everybody, welcome to PyeongChang for this opening event on the track. I'm Martin Haven, alongside me John Morgan. And John, what a track they've created here in Korea.
It was an exciting women's competition, and the men will be the same. The track is going to be fast tonight. It's getting cold. The men have trained all week long in warmer conditions.
Then the regular training week, the 6 runs that they take before each race. And nobody yet has managed to really work out how this track goes. Air temperature 4 degrees. Ice is down at -5 now, so it is going to be fast. There's Thomas Dukurs, very quick on training on Wednesday. Alexander Tretyakov, a little lost. He's been up and down like the Assyrian Empire in training. And that man, Sun Bin-young, that's about as much as we've seen of him all week. The Korean's been training in secret, bobsleigh and skeleton, not with everybody else at night. He took 2 trips trying to make sure that he got qualified for the race. You have to do 2, but he didn't want to give anybody else clues as to what a good line might or might not be around this track. So he's joined by rookie Jisoo Kim, who also makes his 3rd World Cup start for Korea, as Lee Hansen, the regular second slider, is injured. And everybody here trying to piece together this track. There's been so much, I mean, there must be thousands of hours of footage from all the coaches on every corner down this track as their athletes try and work out where they're going to go a year from now in the Olympics. Our start draw then. He started the season, the very first man on ice. He'll begin the final race as the first man on ice, and Mirambel goes out first. Sun Bin-young, 6th of the starters, and then Alexander Tretyakov, Axel Jung, watch out for him. Don Parsons very quick in training on Thursday. Nikita Chegibov, the Dukurs brothers go 13th and 14th. There may well be some surprises in this field of 30 athletes. Final World Cup race this season, Barcelona's Ander Mirambel. Very first race of the year in Whistler. He was first off. He is first off for the very last race of the year as well.
If I was Anders, I'd go buy some lottery tickets. The odds of doing that. And he just made a mistake entering the sled. Track record, it's the first track record. First track record he's ever set in his career. What a great season he's had.
That's what he said at breakfast. He said, no matter what else happens, I'll have the start record and the track record at the end of my first run.
Yeah, he could show this video to his grandkids 30 years from now.
Yeah. And he has, you're exactly right. He's with this group coached by Martin Rettel and a whole bunch of other coaches, and that consistent coaching all season long has really helped him come on.
He'd never make the cut 1 or 2 times last season. He's made the cut every single event this year, and 14th was his best finish in St. Moritz. A tremendous improvement, a tremendous personal best all the way down the track for Anders. And speed, keep your eyes on that, 1:23.9.
Uphill now to the finish, clips the wall, but it's a 52.22. I don't have a note of what he did in training, but that is the first official track record set here on the 2018 Olympic track. But he's not happy with the run.
Who is?
Very hard for him to disguise his feelings. He's either jubilant or distraught, and that was not a jubilation.
Well, this is the pictures we're going to see all night. This is unbelievable. 11-12. It's not a straightaway, it's a labyrinth or bend away. It's, you know, there's 2 curves in there, they call it, and that's the biggest challenge on the track.
One of 2 brothers competing here this weekend. This is the younger of the Auers. Their father, Christian Auer, was a standout skeleton slider in the early years of the sport, as was Mickey Grunberger, the man who's holding the sled for Florian Auer. The 2 brothers from Innsbruck both took up skeleton.
Well, they were probably ordered into the sleds by their father, the 1993 93 world champion, right?
Yeah, he took the boys down first time when they were about 2.5 years old. You could see Alex Auer there yelling off at the top. And Florian breaks the start record of 4.95, 200s quicker than Ander Mirambel. Ander, my friend.
Curve 2, he can't get through there. That tap, that's like throwing out an anchor. I mean, that is you got to get through curve 2, and then the rest of the track will come at you fast, but you'll have a chance the rest of the track if you can get out of curve 2.
Really accelerates you fast. Corner 7, corner 8, long 180-degree corner 8 as well, big looping left, and then this fast exit 9 into the chicane. Not a bad run, still 900s up. 76.7 miles an hour, 123 4Ks. That's the fastest of the two.
Not too many times he's beat Anders Mirabel this season. Yeah, this is good for him.
He and his brother were both competing in Eagles in the World Championships last year.
Half-second better. His best finish of the year was a 20th place in Altenburg. He missed the cut the other 3 races he's been in, and he just blew away Anders Mirabel by a half-second.
He's been an occasional World Cup starter this season. He's ranked 26th. Brother Alex did the first 3 races.
Again, they're going to fight to get in the top 20. This might put him in the top 20. You know, on the Olympic track, pre-Olympic event, good exit into curve 1, and this is the place on the track that's going to create a lot of nightmares for people.
Watch the back of the runners. You can see little shards of ice coming off there every time the knives on the back, the little grooves on the back, bump on the ice.
Look at this is the uphill section there, 15 to 16.
And if you try and dig out the ice with your fingers, you'll know how hard it is. Manuel Sferza of Italy, one of our World Cup rookies this season, the new young generation, all just
a lot of trouble there.
Gets away from the wall there, but only just.
That's going to cost. Let's see if he gets out of 2. Yeah, not bad.
Sferza has only started 2 World Cup races this season, Koenigsegg and Eagles in February. Didn't do the World Championships either. So 2 World Cup runs under his belt, and of course, why is he here? Because next year he hopes to be representing Italy. Got early height in 9, and that didn't really help him.
No, its speed is going to really get erased. 50-100's back now, and 123.9 is what we saw Anders Mirabel have, 122.5.
Long-range athlete, but he's half a second back. And 8600s behind, and those big swooping steers he did in 9 and down in 13 and 14 really take the speed out of the sled.
Well, he's through and down, and you know, I don't think that's going to put him in the field in the second heat, top 20, but you know, he's got a pre-Olympic experience.
Yeah, just 20 years old, so not an awful lot of sliding ice time under his belt either. And that's the opposite story for John Daly. Walked away from Sochi and gave up the sport. But then this year, during the summer, back at his regular day job, he thought, maybe it is just unfinished business. Maybe I should try again. Came back at the last gasp to do US trials, made the team.
Now, you know, the World Championships, he showed up and finished like he's 17th. And didn't have very good start times, but I noticed this week in training, he's had the top 5 start in almost every practice heat. So maybe he's got his legs underneath him.
Oh, 488, that's a better start. Now, he did 7 races in January in North America, as well as holding down his day job to qualify to race on the World Cup. So it's been a busy few weeks for John Daly.
Ooh, a little early there. That little bump's going to cost him.
Oh, yeah. A little wild coming down into 8.
Well,
here we go.
Headway up there. Let's see what he does here in this. This
fly,
highlight reel. Nightmare for most of the athletes coming through the 10, 11, 12.
Couple of kilometers now down on speed, and that's showing now. Gap is going away. Florian will still have the lead at the line, perhaps.
Good speed, though, by Daly on the bottom, and holds on by 100th.
51.72, another
Tuffy Latour knows that wasn't the best that Daly could do. He was doing much better in training. We pulled up the times of training. He was beating Florian Auer by at least 25, 30 hundredths a heat.
Well, for Daly, this is all about next season. This year is just to get him in again.
Getting his legs underneath him, too. Look at how high he gets here. Then he has to go down, centrifugal force back up into the wood.
Early height always costs you on that.
Yeah, and then this is up high again here on the lower section of the track. Looks like 13.
Yep.
12 that was.
Barrett Martineau of Canada, 12th spot in the World Cup standings this season. Best result for him, 8th place in Altenburg, perhaps the toughest driver's track that there is, but a track where there's a lot more G-force, a lot more pressure to give you a feel from the sled. The athletes here say this is hard to judge where you are.
13th place in the World Championships, but he's had a good season. Good
484, start getting quicker with every athlete now.
Well, it's colder,
yeah,
and he gets through 2. Now he's got a chance.
Down into this big sweeping corner 5.
Yeah, he hits there early in the take on the 5, and doesn't sound like much, but that sets you up.
Notice how there are no straightaways on this track at all. Even that one that looks like it should be has got a big bend in it. 2/10
lead speed should be 125 maybe.
Well,
127. No one's come near that.
Looking like a pretty wild ride from Barrett Martineau, but he's carrying the speed somehow to the line, 51.26. So that's half a second quicker than we just saw from John Daly.
Yeah.
It's a very good ride.
That'll guarantee his place in the second run. He knows it.
He doesn't have to see the time. He knows it felt good.
Well, it's probably the first time he's felt good about coming down the track in 3 weeks. Look at these. Look at this. He feels good about this.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at this.
Well, it probably hurt less than any trip he's had in 3 weeks.
This is Ricochet Rabbit here. I
Yeah.
mean, and he's track. He feels good about it.
Now then, here is the man who might be about to set this place ablaze. Sung Bin Young bailed on the World Championships to spend more time on the ice here on his home track in Korea. 12 months from now, we'll have finished the games. Will he be the champion?
Well,
This
how
might be the
much
first
pressure?
indication.
How much pressure does he carry right now?
Enormous.
And he's a great starter. So watch this start. He could get into the low, maybe the high 60s, low 70s here.
Just 22.
61.
Oh, what?
That's ridiculous. Now see, he gets through 2 here. Oh, that's what everybody was looking for, the proper line in 2, and that was it. Oh, this is going to be the guy who sets the pace. He's going to put down a time here and say to everybody else, come and catch me.
Now this should look like he's been sliding this for years, because effectively in terms of ice time, he almost has.
Oh, look at that
Gets a
line.
good exit out
Very,
of
very
9.
different line than we've seen.
Very low,
Oh, the
very
speed
early.
is ridiculous.
77.9 miles an hour.
This could be 128, 129 speed here. 126, not the same speed as Barrett Martineau. That's surprising.
A long way in front, a long way in front.
57 hundredths, but he beat Martineau by 23 hundredths at the start. 50 hundredths, 57 at the bottom. Should be 69. Lost a little speed in the bottom.
Yep, that wasn't perfect.
Right now, Barrett Martineau's got the best speed.
He's been testing all for the last 3 weeks at night on choppy ice.
Well, look at this line. This is very different coming out of there early.
That's what we'll see from Martins Dukurs as well. He's figured out that line, I think.
Boy, that's why they didn't see him all week. Nobody wanted to show him that line, or the
And
Korean
how much
team.
of a hero is he already with the Korean fans? Alexander Gassner, what a season this young man has had. His first ever World Cup win came in Altenburg in Germany. He got a bronze medal in the team competition in the World Championships. Set a new track record at Koenigsegg as well.
5th in the World Championships.
Yeah, 5th overall. And that was after 2 seasons away from the World Cup because his rhythm had gone. He'd lost his race mojo. 4.80.
That's a great start time. It's a great start time, but
yeah.
Our guy from Korea, Sung Bin Young, he's on a different planet at the start.
Yeah. Yun is definitely the man they're all going to have to beat here. But look at this as well. This is a really smooth run from Gassner. Now, because of Yun's abilities, he's going to look like he's some way behind. This is really excellent sliding from Alexander Gassner. Has a very
Pretty good.
different line.
Nice line.
Almost as clean.
124.4. That's a kilometer down.
77.3. That's only half a mile an hour behind.
Only 4/10 down. 126 speed. 127 speed.
Wow.
Better speed than Young.
That's equal fastest.
Wow, he's going to
What
eat
a
back
good
into
run.
this. This is great.
What a good run.
He's half second or
Yeah.
down, but still.
This could put him in with
Top
great
5,
medal
yeah.
potential. Yes. 51.17
Clean,
for
but most
Alexander
importantly,
Gassner.
that was a very clean ride down the track. So
Yeah.
he's somebody who's figured it out. And not a lot of people have.
Alexander
the
Gassner.
setup, you had to figure out how to set your sled up for this track. You have to get through there. This is as clean a line, but a different exit down the left side of our screen.
You saw Young's
Young
marks. He
come
was
out,
a full sled to the right.
inside, yeah. Little tap here on the exit of 13-14.
Yeah, good run, Alex Gassner. Well, now, maybe here's a big challenger. Alexander Tretyakov, the Russian rocket. The start record, 4:61, may remain unchallenged.
But
what about our Olympic champion? What can he produce?
Our Olympic champions had a lot of problems in training all week in the exit of curve 2.
No Olympic skeleton champion has ever successfully defended their gold medal. Tretyakov is going to try
63.
next year. Lizzie Yarnold.
Let's see if he can get out of curve 2 clean.
200s.
Nope, there it is. He's done.
200s behind at the start. Only 400s back now. Let's see at the next split how much more he's lost.
That'll grow. I'm sure that'll grow a lot. Many hits
and
there
another
too.
hit. Not as clean as it needs to be. Oh, big swooping height there in 7.
Yeah, he's had training issues all week. Not confident at all. But
Skiddy and the double tap.
Airborne.
Yikes. Well, he's behind Gassner at the moment.
Speed's off the mark. Half second down now. He's fighting for third.
Don't
and
forget.
the speed, 126.4, similar to Young, but
Gassner was only 4,800s behind at the bottom. He was 4,700s behind out of 14.
fourth. He's behind Barrett Martineau.
Yeah.
Did I tell you he had problems there all week? Look at the Russian coaches. Dan was just disgust on his face. But this is what this track's done. This is no easy walk in the park like most of the tracks these athletes are familiar with. And the Olympic champion, he didn't have a good run from curve 2 all the way down.
Well, I was talking to Ivo Ferriani, president of the IBSF, a little earlier.
Here it is, curve 1 to 2. Watch this. You hit like he does here before the wall. Watch him come out and hit the right side before the apex. And that just erases everything. And then this is down 11, 12 into the 12 curve. Oh, he doesn't have it figured out.
Nobody remembers who wins the pre-Olympic event. It's the one next year here that will count. Axel Jung, back injury kind of put a kink in his season midway through the year, but he came back very strongly to take an amazing silver medal in the World Championships in Koenigsegg 3-4 weeks ago.
He's going to have to get in the 80s, maybe the 70s. He's a good athlete. 73.
Wow.
His back has definitely improved. Let's see if he can get out of 2.
He could barely bend over in January, could he? He was in all sorts of agony in Altenburg and Winterberg.
I don't know of any top competitor who's improved more than Axel Jung this year. Oh, real high there, though.
Well, Alexander Gassner came back from 2 years on the junior circuit, so I'd argue his case, but Jung's had a really standout season. Third in the World Cup standings.
Ooh, he fought to get through there. The speed is excellent. Ooh, that's going to cost
big
him.
hit of the run.
He's got it to second. 127 speed. Nope. 126.3 and a couple of hits going uphill.
Can't afford to skid into 16.
He did. Second. 37 back. That's pretty good, though.
900s in front of
he got beat
Alexander
by
Gassner.
Young at 1100 to start and 37 at the bottom. So a couple mistakes, especially in the uphill section, 15 to 16. You can't see how steep that is, but he's happy with that.
Yep.
And here, this tap, 13 to 14. That doesn't help you accelerate. Then he pushes him high, and then he hits again. This is really a steep uphill section. You tap the wall like that, that's costly.
Camera doesn't do it justice. It is very steep. It's almost like a finishing straight. USA's Matt Antoine is next up, lying 7th in the World Cup rankings. Bronze in Whistler, silver in Lake Placid to start the season.
7th at the World Championships.
Yeah, and that was his best result since Christmas. He's had 9th, 10th and an 8th place in the World Cup races in Europe. The one thing that he's got to do better is this.
Yeah, he's not the starter he was, but...
And he knows it, and this summer he has to somehow find that speed again.
Can he get out of 2? A little bit of body lean to stay off that wall. And, you know, this is the bronze medalist from Sochi.
Well, nobody was out starting him by 2300s in the Olympics 4 years ago, and they are at the moment. Good exit out of 9, takes a little brush, but that's not bad.
124.2, kilometer and a half down.
49 hundredths of a second back though, and the gap is just opening up to a yawning chasm. John Daly, his teammate, is currently in 6th. He's only just slipped in front of him. The Americans will be 5th and 6th at the bottom. 5th Matt Antoine, 6th John Daly.
40 hundredths ahead of his teammate. And he's pretty much the same start.
Well, 23 hundredths behind Yun Sung Bin at the start, 63 behind at the bottom.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but that's what you get. It's a factor of about 2.5 times your start deficit at the bottom.
Well, this is curve 2, and you know he has to steer off this wall. Watch his legs. See those feet come over like that and slight tap, and you know that's energy. When you have to steer like that, that's a pivotal part of that track. That's important.
Yun Sung Bin for Korea, the race leader from Axel Junk and Alexander Gassner. German women and men's skeleton is really in resurgence. 10 down in our field of 30. Don Parsons, fastest in both heats on the final day of training. Let's see if he can convert that into a big race result.
Well, there was a couple people that were not in that final day of training, including our leader, Young, but you know, Parsons still a top 3, 4. He'll take it right now, but he's way back. I mean, he's 7th best start
this early is really bad news.
And it looked like he got through 2 okay.
A few of our fast starters weren't unleashing all the speed in training. Yun was going off in 5:16. He started 4:61 in the race.
And the speed is a couple of kilometers, 1.5 hours down.
Yeah. Well, he started 7th fastest, up to 5th on the splits ahead of Matt Antoine and John Daly of the USA.
Boy, that speed
is
off the mark.
Back down to 7th, that big wavy corner 14 really
and he
cost
hit
him.
13, 14, 7th. 1 second. 1 second.
Yeah.
That's an eternity of time in this sport. Tells you about the track.
Tells you about what Yun knows that nobody else does.
Well, you know, you be the judge. I mean, look at this stuff. Look at the airboard, probably. Look at the sled.
Yeah.
Ski jumping.
Pinball wizard
here in
down
Skeleton.
there.
Sled jumping.
In fact, his girlfriend Jackie Naricott had an even more elaborate run through there in her race earlier. Next up, Nikita Tregobov of Russia. The young rocket, another electrifying starter. Now, can he find a little bit more out of this track than his teammate Alexander Chechikov, who currently lies 5th out of only 11 sleds so far?
This is the changing of the guard in the Russian program. Tregobov with the bronze medal outdid his teammate, the Olympic champion Chechikov, at the World Championships. How many junior World Championships this guy won?
2.
And how old is he?
3 straight now,
Yeah, he could, you know, he could compete for 3 more years in the junior worlds, but let's see what this Russian phenom can do. He got through curve 2 a lot better than his teammate. Little tap there before 5, exit of 5, and that's going to cost him. Pretty good lines here, though. Whoa, as good as anybody. Speed, not that great. Gonna need 126 speed down here to move up. He's in third now, though, as critical as we can. 127, as good a speed as we've seen from the last 8 sleds.
That's what Alexander Gassner had, who was in third, and he comes home in second, ahead of Axel Jung by 300ths.
They have something to be positive about. Well, this young Russian, the junior Russian rocket, as I said at the beginning of his run, this is the changing of the guard. Trechikov to, Trechikov was the king.
If he keeps showing a clean pair of heels to Trechikov like this, Trechikov may well retire after next year's games.
I'm sure he will. Lines here, a little low there. Probably goes up too high, crosses over, taps the wall there. That was costly.
Trechikov is 22, Trechikov only 31. He could easily go for another quad, but not if he's getting spanked by this youngster. Well, now then, talking about younger and older, this is Thomas Dukurs, the older of the 2 Latvian sliding superstars. 1 World Cup win in his career, that was in Sigulda, their home track. He was very quick in training, though.
Coming off a disastrous 12th place at the World Championships, that one really terrible heat. And, he just barely got through 2. And he's
got to carry the height so late in 2, and it's a real split-second judgment between success and disaster.
See what he does here with exit of 9. This is 8. Long. Now watch 9.
Oh, long skid avoids the hit, but which is more costly in terms of time? 1:23.9.
5th best speed. 47, he's hanging in there, so he gets 126 and change. It's decent. 126 high, it's good.
Very tall guy, 6'2".
This could be top 4, maybe. 5th, 5100s back.
Everyone's 5th at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, there's these 300s out of 4th. These only 1400s out of Axel Jung at 3rd.
600s ahead of Barrett Martineau. 800, 1200s ahead of Alexander Trechikov. And Matt Antoine, who are tied. It's going to be very tight again.
Well, this is 1 to 2. Okay, this is the pivotal part of the track. How does he sneak out of here? Does he have to steer off the wall? He's pretty close to it.
But again, he needed maybe another half a meter of height, or to hold it from maybe another half a meter to really slingshot down. Yun Sung-bin leads for Korea, Nikita Trechikov 2nd for Russia, Axel Jung 3rd for Germany. 13 sleds down, we're nearly halfway through our field. And here is our world champion, our European champion, our World Cup points leader, aiming for his 8th straight World Cup title at the end of this race.
And he has got some task in front of him. He's going to have to get in the mid-60s to have a chance.
Now he has
65 is the mid-60s. Watch him get through 2. This is not a gimme. Perfect. Now the speed, he's going to need some huge speed down here to challenge Jung at the bottom.
And he has Yun as his closest rival in the World Cup.
Oh, perfect there. Let's see if he can get through 8 and 9. Watch the 9, watch the sled if it skids here in the exit of 9 coming up right here.
Here's the deal. If we assume that Yun wins...
Speed's not that good.
Dukurs must be second to guarantee the Crystal Globe.
1200's back. He's second. Speed, 127 is the only chance he's got. He's close to it. He's got more speed than Jung.
Wow.
He could close the gap here.
It went out to 1200s at the line. It's 18. But second place will give him an 8th consecutive Crystal Globe.
And on this track, 1800s?
Well, against anybody but maybe Yun, you'd say, okay, that's not a margin.
He's struggling down here. You could see his toes tap the sidewall. Don't think that that's not some time.
Well, Dukurs getting sideways, you almost never see it. Dr. Thomas Bach, the president of the International Olympic Committee on hand. Big IOC meetings this week. Is that Prince Albert of Monaco just down there beside him? I believe it probably is. Certainly looked like his head. Next up for Germany is our 15th slider, halfway through the field, Christopher Grother. 4th in the World Cup standings, 5th, I beg your pardon. He's had a good season as well, Groothair. A win, his first ever in Altenburg, the first week of January.
He's had a good season.
Yep.
Entry, exit of the start grooves.
It's been an unusual year. 4 different men have won races. Normally it's Martins, Dukurs, and
really
one
high
other.
there too. He didn't get out on the wall, but 3/10 back, and it's going to drift even more now. 94.3, not the speed.
Well, Christopher Groothair, 3,800s back at the moment, and this is going to leave him not in the top 3, not in the top 6, 8th place on the splits.
That's a good line though in the exit of 9.
That's really smooth.
124.6 is better speed than Dukurs just had.
Now, how much does that slingshot him to the lower part of the track?
Well, he's
5,200s.
8th to 8th, but the speed, 127, top 4 speed.
Yeah, all the
Tapped
Germans are getting that, 127. And at
Tap
the
though,
line,
that tap
8th
cost
place.
him dearly.
Yeah.
But he's only 100th, look at this. He's 100th out of 7th, 600ths out of 6th,
Yeah.
1000ths out of 5th.
500s ahead of Chetikov and Antoine.
High marks in curve 2, and then that tap in the graveyard in the uphill section out of 15 to 16. So here's 2. Watch how high he climbs.
And
Way up there.
Holds it
Holds
late.
the line, and then he skids
Yeah.
as he comes out of there. And then here's down to 15, 16. This is uphill.
Yeah.
You tap like that, look at his toes come down.
Can't afford that
Tenth
touch.
of a second, 2 or 3 places right there.
Yeah. 15 down, 15 to come. Yoon Sung Bin of Korea leads from Martins Dukurs and Nikita Tregibov. 16th of our starters is Rhys Thornberry for New Zealand, rounding out the end of what will be a really big season for him.
11th in the World Championships.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Talking
just a personal best is all everybody wants to achieve every time they come out here. This whole season's been a personal
He's
best
done
for
it
Rhys.
on every track.
Every track.
Every track. And he said having the same coaches every race has made such a difference to how they understand him, how he understands them, the way they talk about things.
He's going back
varies
to
from coach to
Calgary.
coach. Yeah.
Calgary to go and start working in the, in the Calgary Start House.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, take a couple of weeks off, dude.
Nope. No respite. It's that old quote, if you don't train on Christmas Day, your rivals will be. 6,200s back, this is 11th place off the 13th fastest start.
Uphill
Good
section.
exit.
There, see if he comes clean there, yes.
And again, 11th, 51.34, only 700 slower than Christopher Groothair that we just saw. This is going to be insane from about 4th place to 12th place.
I mean, Young, the Korean, at 78.5 miles an hour. Thornberry, 78.3 miles an hour.
Yep.
The best speed down there is Nikita Tregibov with 78.9. And Gassner had that, and so did Barrett. Martineau had the same speed down in the finish. Look how high he gets there. And that's using too much of the track, and then he comes over, hits the wall. See this, that's what caused it. That's what, then he came over, hit the wall there. On the uphill section, he got close to the...
Yeah.
Everyone,
Just avoided it.
the season. It's been awesome.
Hey, one more to go, Rhys. Don't finish the season this early.
Zach Lund helping him out.
Yeah. Next up, Nathan Crumpton of the USA. So 11th in the World Cup standings. This is his 2nd season coming to a conclusion at the top flight.
Top 11, 12 all season long in the World Cup. Disappointing 18th at the World Championships. His 2nd.
2 top 10 finishes in the middle of the season, the first couple of races in Europe. Those his best results so far.
6th best start. Let's see if he can do something with it. Speed, though, should be up there in the 94s, and the crossover there took too much of those 2 curves back to back. Feet apart. And he's 8th at the moment. And that's great exit. Excellent. Speed, not there. About the 9th speed.
Well, 6 at the start. He's dropped to 12th on the splits.
And he's going to need 126. 126, he's got it, so he has
Little
a chance.
touch and a
12 to
toe
11.
drag uphill, though.
Maybe 10th. 12th,
12th
78.
place. And again, right in there in that group of athletes. 12th place behind Rhys Thornberry.
Yeah, he's within reach of like 4 spots with a good second run. And somebody else falters.
See in the background, the sun has gone down, the temperature's definitely dropping. They've been training early in the morning.
Yeah, they aren't used to this ice.
This
Second heat, I think it's going to be faster.
Again, yeah. Definitely so. Everybody wrapped up warm in the grandstands, understandably. Sun has long since left the track. Igor Veselov up next for Russia. Been a kind of rotating door over the third Russian slider. We've had 3 of them during the course of the season. Yevgeny Rokoshev has been the third. Igor Veselov did the first couple of races and the last one in Eagles. So this is his 4th World Cup race of the season in race number 8 of our BMW IBSF World Cup.
Yeah, he got like 26. There's 26 he got at the World Championships.
Yeah.
Let's see if he gets out of 2. Yes.
4.90 start, fastest start 4.61, so he gives away 29 hundredths before he even lies down.
Little tap there, the entrance 6, 7. Oof. This is 8.
Fell off the end of 7.
Big long sweeping curve, the 8 is, and then 9. And that was a good line until he drifted too much to the right. Hit the wall.
15th on the split time out of 18 sleds at the moment. 16th now behind Florian Auer. Might struggle to stay in front of Ander Mirambel as well at this rate. 16th it is, just in front of Mirambel.
Now it's a question of who's going to make the cut.
Yep. Ander Mirambel 17th and Manuel Schwertz of Italy in 18th are the ones in the danger zone.
There's some good sliders yet to
There
come.
are a few good ones who could easily make it into the top 10. That might be the final run of the season even for Igor Veselov. Look at that, backing it in, motorcycle style there.
Yeah, this is how not to do it, but it's so easy for us to say it. I mean, it's such a challenge. This is not anything that these athletes see in the whole World Cup or World Championship season we've had this year.
Mattia Gaspari didn't slide before Christmas. No pre-season training, no races in the first 2 World Cups. He was busy doing his induction process into the Italian police force and came out fresh, eager and ready to go in Altenburg, and in half a season has produced perhaps the best results of his career.
Top 9 or top 10 at the World Championships, 9th place. Awesome.
Off to 11th places in the previous 2 races, so he's had a really good few runs.
That's where he was the year before, top 10. So this is Italy's great hope in the sliding sports. In all 5 disciplines, he's the best Italian performer. Probably one of the best dressed, too.
Still just 23, Mattia Gaspari could be competing in the Junior Worlds, but he didn't.
Speed's decent.
And 10th place start, he's up to 8th on the splits.
This is what he's been doing all year.
I said to him a few weeks ago, you should have the first
Excellent
half of the
speed.
year off every year.
Top though. He just had a big hit there on the uphill
Still in 8th place at the line. That's a really good run.
That's what he's been doing. He just gets better
and he just
more trips.
Bounces around with such a smile and a positive attitude, you know, not bemoaning, oh, I missed the first half of the year. He's just glad to be on ice and to have a job.
With no training either. He couldn't even work out.
Nothing. No pre-season. Everybody else was on ice from October. He started in January in Altenburg.
He's 21st place in Wittenberg, 25th place in St. Moritz, and then Koenigsegg Eagles 11th, and at the World Championships, he's on the wood there.
Yeah.
He finished 9th at the World Championships, so they got to be impressed with him, the Italian Federation.
Not afraid of a bit of late height, is he? Now then, here is our tour guide here, Dave Kreszczeshin. As a teacher, spent quite a lot of time working in South Korea. He's holidayed in North Korea as well, so he knows the culture, he knows a bit of the language.
Coming on a pretty good result at the World Championships.
What can he figure out on this track? A real bear of a man, not just in nickname, but in stature as well. 4.87.
So Can he get through too?
Good height.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Boy,
Good control.
They're starting to figure 2 out. I mean, from what I hear, it was blood, sweat, and tears in that first couple of weeks training there in that exit of 2.
Pinball wizard.
Everybody
really
was hanging out there trying to find the line. Ooh, he was on the wood there.
Bumped out a 7. Okay, here we go. Corner 9.
That's not
little skiddy.
Smooth. Speed way off the pace.
Yeah, and that's that.
6 kilometers down.
All that steering from 7 to 9 and down to 12 has really cost him. That was a really decent looking run going out of 2, and now it's all coming unstitched.
Well, when he hit the lip, I think it's curve 6 or 7 when he was on the wood.
Hasn't got the control he needed.
That might be good enough, though, to get him into the top 20.
That'll get him into the race. Manuel Schwerzer 20th now, Ander Mirambel 19th, Igor Veselov of Russia 18th. They're the guys
get him in the
danger zone. He'll be in. I say Florian Auer in 17th might worry as well.
What's the wood here?
Late height. Yep.
Yeah. Crossover. They'll show the front part of it. He just came up there too late, and we saw the Russian athlete in the women's race get up there in the wood, and then here he's a big man, toes are out, body all over the place, trying to get this sled to go on the line he needs to go to 12. The Grizz.
Big sigh from the big man. 20 sleds down, 10 to go. Yeon Sung-bin of Korea leads Martin Dukurs and Nikita Tregibov, but the drama is all at the bottom of the 20. 10 sleds remain in the penultimate heat of the season, and for Matthias Guggenberger, can he get into the field? It's now bump somebody else, or you will be among the fans for the final run of the year.
This is a wounded warrior. Will have knee surgery on Wednesday coming up as soon as he gets back, while his girlfriend Janine Flock, she's not going to take care of him. She's going to Hawaii.
Yeah, well, that's her therapy. His therapy is the surgeon's knife.
He says it gives him more time to work on his Xbox.
Yes. You can take the boy out of room, but you can't take him far. Matthias Guggenberger with a good-looking run so far.
Speed way off though. Couple kilometers down.
Wow.
And a lot of scratching. We're
ninth at the
starting to hear
start,
some scratching.
down to
late.
18th. He's not going to make it. It's either him or Manuel Schwerzer. He's 19th on the split times. Is he in or is he out? He's in at the moment, and Schwerzer is out. But Mickey Grunberger shakes his head. Matthias Guggenberger may not get a second run. He's in 19th. That might not be enough. 52.01. Yep, I think he's packing up and heading home.
Well, he's running on 3/4. That knee, look at that. You know, that right knee.
Given that, still 9th fastest start. I mean, he gave it everything he's got.
Well, if you know he's... Watch this next shot. Look how high he gets here.
Yeah.
Watch this hard hit.
Comes down early and then...
Whoa!
Yeah, that was as they fly from 12 to 13, from 13 to 14. Next up, Jack Thomas of Great Britain, 16th in the World Cup rankings at the end of his rookie season. He made his debut in the final race of last year, which was in Koenigsee, Bavaria. So now we come full cycle, the final race of his first World Cup season. Always a good quick starter. What does he pull out? A 4.79.
Decent speed. Can he get through too? Yeah,
good exit.
Everybody there. I mean, yesterday, training, everybody, half the field was hitting out of 2.
9th place on the splits as he comes out of the big sweeping corner 5. Now he needs to control 7. Late height, good exit. That's nice. Saw his coach there filming, still filming, even in the race.
Ooh.
Early off 9.
Now he's got speed that is 8-kilometer deficiency to the top sleds.
He's gone from 9th on the splits to 13th to 16th. Now he's in free fall. He's in danger of not making the race.
124 speed.
Got to avoid the walls.
Considering what he's been through. Loop that
Wild.
curve.
Oh, and 19th at the line, a 51.86, and that bumps Ander Mirambel and pushes Matthias Guggenberger down to 20th. T-Tray Jack Thomas shakes his head, but at the moment he is in the race. And the remaining challenges for a race spot are fewer.
Well,
oh my goodness, look at that. He was almost broadside.
I if you could say he's struggling through here. The exit, he got out there too early, and now it's pinball wizard. What do you want to call this? This is...
Well, you know, when you back it in like that with a motorcycle, it's to slow yourself down.
70 miles an hour. That's at 70 miles an hour.
All right, one more with a bit of luck and a following win for Jack Thomas. Marco Rohrer might have something to say about that, the young Swiss.
He's had a pretty good season.
Yes, he has.
He definitely has upgraded things. His best finish, 12th on his home track in St. Moritz, and boy, was he excited about that.
Yep. Well, Rohrer got a good start on him as well. Track athlete. 23rd in the World Championships in Koenigsegg, really disappointing. He'll want to turn that around and have a good end to the year.
Well, curve
hits
two.
out of 2.
Well, that's pretty tough to overcome that, especially when you have a start. You know, he's got a decent start.
Yeah, it was only 15th. He should be quicker than that.
Yeah.
Starting a quarter of a second slower than the leader.
He's up on the wood.
Yikes. See, now, is this where he thinks, I've got to really risk everything, hang it out there? That's not bad out of 9.
Speed.
That'll save him a little. He's out to 21st on the splits. Can he fight his way back into the race?
Hits 13, 14.
Still 21st place, needs a really good run to the finish line, but he's bouncing around all over the place. He's not relaxed, he's tense. He knows there's pressure on
20th.
him. Oh, and he's in by 100th of a second. He bumps out Matthias Guggenberger.
Oh, that's got to be painful for
yeah.
Googie.
Oh, he shakes his head. He's in trouble, and he knows it. Steers straight into the finish box. I think that may be the first time I've ever seen that.
It's a good move.
Yeah, but
he's one of them guys too smart to be out here.
Didn't like that run one bit. And here, exit 2, exit 7, you name it. Apart from exit 9, where he was okay.
It's how not to do it up on the wood.
On the wood. That runner's not going to help him if he does make the second cut.
This is, watch the exit here of 13.
Back up again.
Bang.
And on the wall. Yeah.
That's at 70 miles an hour.
And the track drops away from you there. That's the second jump. So he jumped up into the wall. Well, Evan Neufeld of Canada making his first World Cup start of the season. He's been racing exclusively in North America up until the last few weeks, and good to see him back with the World Cup regulars. 4:82 the getaway, 12th fastest start.
He said he just couldn't afford being on tour.
Yep.
Glad to get here. Boy, the smile on his face when we saw him.
Well, he's one of these gypsy sliders. His wife has gone back to college, so they're both living like students now. Although apparently her shoe fetish hasn't diminished quite enough.
Couple hits, speed, not great.
Well, 12th at the start, he's in 17th spot. That hit might cost him a little. 20th, he's in front
he's in
of Marco Rohrer.
122.3, danger zone. Good exit there, though.
Could make the cut here on his first World Cup showing of the year.
22nd, no,
doesn't
just
quite make it.
He's 900ths out.
Yep. 900ths of a second.
He'll be disappointed with that. He had better aspirations, and he's a good slider.
Saskatchewan native, famously the flattest province in Canada. Says he's never broken a bone. At least not until he started skeleton. He's shown me the collarbone scars before.
Well, you know, every picture tells a story, and then in this track, these are some pretty compelling pictures.
I tell you what, if you've never broken a bone, this is certainly the place to bruise a few. Love you too. Now then, in 20th place is Marco Rohrer. In 19th, Jack Thomas. 18th, Igor Veselov. 17th, Florian Auer. They are all in the race at the moment. Can Florian's older brother Alex get in? Alexander Auer, the 25th of our 30 starters, and possibly all but the last with a chance of getting into the race here.
He started off the first 3 World Cups, 2 in North America, and then in Altenburg did not make the cut in any one of the 3 heats.
Yeah.
And it's ironic, he's going to come down here, he's going to, well, he won't knock his brother out.
No, he won't knock his brother out.
Brother's going to make it.
pretty certain Florian will be in 17th now. I don't think there are 4 sliders who are going to be better than his time.
Well, his start has put him behind the 8 ball. His exit of 2 wasn't perfect.
22nd place at the moment.
Well, let's see what he can do down here in this nightmare of a straightaway.
Ooh,
not bad.
That has potential.
122 speeds, not bad.
That has potential. Can he claw his way in? He dropped to 24th place. There's a lot of real estate between him and the race still in 24th. He's not going to make it, is he? Not unless he's found a new Austrian shortcut, and he does not make the race. 52.15, 52.00 is the cutoff for the race, and he is out. Does not get a final heat. He'll be going home to Mr. Boggles, his pet chipmunk, just 1 slide earlier than he'd hoped.
His pet chipmunk?
Pet chipmunk. Bald at the moment. He's lost his winter coat and hasn't grown his summer coat, apparently. I was checking up on Mr. Boggles' progress over breakfast. Yoon Sung-bin of Korea, Martins Dukurs of Latvia, Nikita Tregibov of Russia. Your top 3, 5 to go. Pressure on the Japanese sliders now. Hiro Takahashi and following him, Katsu Miyajima, both way outside the top 20 in the start draw. Well, 19th place in the world rankings. Hiro has not missed the cut except in Winterberg. Oh, and Eagles last time out, so that's 2 out of 7 this year.
Baseball fanatic. Boy, was he excited when Japan beat Cuba. I think it was 4-1.
Yeah.
Oh, he makes a big mistake, curve 2. I asked him what position. He said third baseman, some outfield. I asked him if he had a good arm. He said yes.
Well, never mind Japan. What about Israel? What are they doing?
That's ridiculous.
The baseball world on fire at the moment. What about Hiro? Let's get back to him. He was 10th at the start, down to 22nd.
Yeah, but that mistake and an exit of 2, that was everything.
And plunging, 25th. He will be slowest at the finish line. Well, 1.2, oh, huge waves in 14.
He might as well have probably had there's 3 bad lines, 4 bad lines at curve 2. His was one of the worst. He hit so hard.
25th at the line, so he does not make the race either. Just ahead of Manuel Schwerter of Italy, and only a 10th ahead of the 20-year-old rookie as well. So Hiro Takahashi.
And he's a top 10 World Cup slider a couple of years ago.
Yeah. It's starting to look like a longer and longer time away, though.
This is it, when you have no chance there when you do this. Bang, that's it.
Just brought it down a fraction
the
early.
Ball game is over. Turn the lights out, and then here, 12. Those weren't bad.
Weighs his sled, weighs himself as well to ensure compliance with the regs. Next up, Katsuyuki Miyajima, and for Katsu, best of 16th this season. That was in St. Moritz.
That was pretty good.
Yep. Only did part season, didn't do North America, so joined us in the World Cup. And in fact, St. Moritz is the only race he's made the cut.
Ooh, exits wrong direction out of those grooves.
And look at the start, 27th start, a 5:12. That's 5,100 slower than the fastest start at the top. Now the maths here means he should.
Hit the lip. He hit the lip in the previous curve.
That's what everybody was doing in the first week.
Well, you heard it. We didn't see it. We heard it.
Yeah.
And that's why they have those lips, those roofs. Otherwise, he'd be flying someplace else.
We'd have lost a lot of athletes in corner 2. They'd have just gone shooting straight out like shuttlecock on a Cresta run. Down at the bottom.
That's really late
really
there.
Fighting for control.
That hurt. That had to knock the wind out of him.
Yeah.
And look how slow he is now.
Yeah.
That's
brutal
27.
again.
You could see him. He's gasping for air here, I think. That had to knock the wind out.
And visually slower, and yet he's still doing 74 miles an hour.
Well, he looks like he's okay there.
Yeah. You've got to be made of tough stuff to do skeleton. There are a lot of hits.
Shook it off and no problem.
Yeah.
Well, here's where I think he hits the lip. Because it has to go
Big
way
skid.
up, bang, way up, then bang on the outlet.
That's horrible.
here.
What a
Head down.
yeah.
Look at this. Bang. Don't think he's not going to have some black and blues. And then he's
doing all he can just to cling on to the sled there.
he made it exciting for us.
Woo, Katsu. 3 to go. Riet Graf, clearly the tallest man in the field, claims he's only 6'4". Johnny's taller than me and I'm 6'6". I said, you need to go get measured again, Sunshine. 6 months ago, he might have been 6'4".
He's young too.
He is young. Hopefully,
his father was a European Cup competitor in skeleton, right?
Hopefully he stopped outgrowing his shoes, because if he gets any taller, he's going to outgrow the sport as well. Half a second back, 24th spot. This is his first year at the senior level, only his 3rd year on ice. They've really accelerated him through the program. Actually, he's got
big,
a lot of
long,
potential.
Sweeping curve 8 is.
Yeah.
Good exit there of 9. Speed 3-4 kilometers down, 2.5 miles an hour. And now he's struggling.
Best race for him, Samoritz, his home track, 15th position. Hasn't made the cut at any of the other tracks though. And again, that's down to his lack of experience, but 25th. Thomas Lamparter there on the left, also coaching the bobsled team. He's ahead of Hiro Takahashi, Manuel Schwerzer and Katsu Miyajima. And he ends his first World Cup adventure, half a season.
Well, he's had good 3 weeks here of training, so he's got to go out and get a start time next year.
You know, when you grow that high, that young, you're going to be a lot of skin and bone.
Well,
needs to get some
watch him
speed.
come down, and then he's got to go back up. When he comes by the crossover, he hits the take-on coming in. You see the spray, and forces him in the middle of the next curve. Late is usually more time at the bottom.
Our second Korean athlete, Kim Ji-soo, standing in for Lee Hansen, who's done most of the World Cup races. Lee is injured and out for the rest of the season. One previous World Cup start, that was 3 weeks ago in Innsbruck in Austria.
We hear a lot of Koreans yelling, but start time 74, very good.
Yep.
5th best start. See if he gets through 2. Yes.
Well, now for him, making the race is the big deal. He was 25th in Eagles in a field of 29.
I gotta believe he's going to
30.
be top 12 or 13 at this pace, and he knows the track. He's been down more than anybody else in the field, other than the guy who's leading, his teammate Yun.
Well, he's so fresh, he's probably been down here about as much as any other track he's ever slid on. Ooh, little bouncy.
118
He
not
is
very
up
good
to
speed.
4th place.
Wow.
From 6 at the start. That's what knowing the track does
Home track
for you.
advantage. 124.6 is decent. He's
out to 8th, but
this could be top 10.
Should be a top 10 run.
Wow, I would have never thought this. 15th.
Oh, 15th. He went from 4th to 15th on the bottom half of the track.
But he made the cut.
Yes, he did.
Well, there's some promise here. This is some promise for
He
this
is still
kid.
very new to all this. You saw how pleased Richard Bromley was. There's Charles.
Look at him making him make the cut. That's all he wanted to do. Well, when you have a start like that.
Well, not only that, he had a really good top half. If he can tidy up a couple of errors at the bottom of the track, he could be top 6.
Well, look at him steer. Look at those pictures. This is a guy who's been down as much as,
look at this hit. You see air between him and the sled there.
Yeah.
He's up in the air off the sled. Look, you can see between him and the sled.
And
That's
he's
insane.
been down the track as much as him and Jon have been down 100 times more than anybody.
But
50 times.
What about that sigh of relief? You think there was any pressure on him here to perform? Boy. Rasmus Ottosson brings our penultimate slide of the World Cup season to a close. Dave Swift with the sled for our young Swede.
Jack Thomas is the guy on the bubble now for Great Britain.
Yeah, Thomas in
Marco
20th
Rohner just
place.
got knocked out.
So, is it Rasmus Ottosson of Sweden, or is it going to be Jack Thomas? Rasmus only making his 3rd World Cup start, drills the exit of 2.
That's with the start he just had, and then drilling the wall. Even with a good start, you're still done if you hit the wall. Look how high he was there. At least Rasmus is sliding on his own sled. Remember that experience?
Yeah, his
he
first
never got
World
his
Cup
sled.
race in Whistler.
And sled just got lost in the airlines.
Never got to him. Took about 3 weeks after the race for the sled to catch up with him.
Ooh. 70 miles an hour, those pictures when you're seeing them. 75 miles an hour right here.
1:23.0, 76.4 miles an hour. And across the line, he is in 29th spot ahead of Katsuyuki Miyajima. And his World Cup season is done with a 52.62 slide. He will join the rest of the guys outside the top 20. Livid with himself as Norway's Alex Hansen goes to
some of
collect
these
the sled.
guys might have Olympic qualification stacked on this.
I don't think it'll be this race. He's just furious that what he did in training has escaped him in the race.
You think Kimberly Bosch from the Netherlands qualified for the Olympics?
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
After finishing third in the women's race, best result ever for
first ever medal for the Netherlands. Yeah. Oh.
Something to keep our guys in the truck happy about.
Yeah. Very disappointed for the young Swede. But that brings the penultimate slide of the season to a close. For 10 of them, it's the last slide of the regular season. They may do a little post-season ice work, but not much. And the man that they expected to be chasing is the man they will have to catch to try and win this final World Cup race of the season. Yoon Sung-bin of Korea leads after the first of our two heats. His advantage over his closest rival in the standings, Martin Dukurs, is 1800ths of a second. If they finish as they are, Dukurs would still be the World Cup champion ahead of last year's runner-up Sun Bin Young. So Yoon from Dukurs, Tregibov, Junk Gassner and Thomas Dukurs rounding out the top 6. Great slide from Barrett Martineau. And look at that, from 3400s down to 5800s, 2400s per second, covering 7 sleds. Yes, there could be a lot of changes. And Kim Ji-soo of Korea in 15th, he could pick up half a dozen spots conceivably with a tidier second run. From Marco Rohrer on down, they join the fans trackside watching the last slide, and that means that 20th place Jack Thomas makes it in for the final heat of the season. And that will be coming up in just under half an hour's time. The sleds will be back on ice at 7:30 local, that's 10:30 GMT Friday. Join us for all the action from the final slide of the season to see who wins the race and the Crystal Globe.
감사합니다.